Laying in to the show. Loving the Billy Joel. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2020, the year of the dumpster fire. You are officially now cruising with the case handler, a show about personal injury, immigration, real estate, family law, criminal law. We are Pollack, Isaac DeSico. I am a partner of the personal injury department, and we're here giving back to the community that has embraced us, giving back by providing information, absolutely 100%, no strings attached, free of charge. We're here to help, we're here to answer questions, and we're here to be your lawyers. And if, God forbid, you ever have a legal issue, no matter what it is, you're going to want the best possible attorney representing you and your family. And we like to think that we are those attorneys. The number for our firm is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID Law. We've been around for over 50 years, serving the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and pretty much the entire nation community. Helping them specifically, over the coast to coast on immigration cases and personal injury cases here in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We're here to help you. We're here to get you the best possible result we can and do it in a way that makes you feel like not just a file, but like friend or family. Again, my name is Adam Handler. They call me the case handler. Sometimes they call me the shark, depending on the mood.
The shark is right. He's back.
Speaking of he's back, Squeeze is popped on. He's logged on. Conrad, the Maestro Pollack, the managing partner of this firm, essentially the founder of what the firm is today. His father, Conrad, actually tell us a little bit about the history of the firm, if you don't mind.
Well, my dad was a World War II vet. And in fact, somebody just sent me a picture of him. I posted on Facebook the other day. Anyway, from the war. Anyway, he put himself through law school, GI Bill. Long story short, started working as a lawyer in the early 60s, doing pretty much what you were doing. And started immigration. The laws changed. The immigration laws changed in 1965. And that basically opened up the Western Hemisphere to people immigrating to the United States. And my dad spoke several languages and got into it and developed a firm. It was Pollack and Kramer back in the 60s and 70s. And he went solo in 81 as I was coming into my own and getting out of law school. And we formed Pollack and Pollack in 84, or actually 85 when I became admitted to the bar. And my dad passed away, unfortunately, at that time. And then Fred DeSico and Brian Isaac joined me. We were law school and college buddies in 1988 to form Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And then 6 years ago, we brought on some young whippersnapper, the case handler, to open up our personal injury department. And
not so young anymore.
Prior to that, Nelson Madrid joined the firm, I don't know, 13, 12, 10, 11 years ago before that. I'm obviously encapsulating the development of the firm. But we've been together in our present form now since 1988. Prior to that, my father's firm was around for, I guess, about 20 years before that. So that's where you get the 50 plus years. And we've been together now as a group, as I said, since 1988, doing immigration, doing personal injury, doing appellate litigation, real estate, criminal, natural, you name it. We pretty much have it covered in terms of becoming a one-stop shop for anybody with any kind of legal needs or legal requirements. So there you have it.
Squeeze, what does that tell you when a firm has been around for 50 years, and more specifically when the partners of the firm, who are the actual practicing attorneys, right? The partners of Pollack, Isaac DeSico are attorneys. They work on cases. They meet with clients. They go to court. What does that tell you when a firm has been around for so many years? It means one thing in my mind.
Now, well, I'm going to tell you what I believe. I mean, you know, people have all the beliefs, but here's what I believe. And I know for a fact. One, I have never worked with any firm where truly you have all the attorneys are 100% practicing attorneys on the capacity in which we're talking about on here. That's one. Two, they've got experience, they've got depth, they've got true professional that can represent the people that's listening to us on the radio station, watching us on the social media platforms. They know it. And the other thing also, you're talking about second generations and third generation attorneys that know this stuff inside out. So why would anyone listening to 93.5, why would anyone who just heard Adam Handler, the man who has settled what, over $120 million to date?
That's the number, baby. That's the number.
$120 million to date, okay, in settlements for personal injury cases. Why would anyone not want to go with the Maverick, the Nelson Madrid? Why would anyone not want to go with Conrad Pollack? He just gave that story and I shut up and listened about from his father being a vet all the way up and initiating the firm, and then him taking it after he got out of law school, and then pulling, of course, his friends together to build this phenomenal firm. Why would anyone want to go anywhere else? Not just are they an experienced company, they've got culture, they've got depth, they are of an immigrant background. That's what I want to work with. I know that I am getting something that is truly real, a company that's going to treat me like family. That's what it tells me. I know I told you quite a few things there, Adam, but
yeah, no, I mean, that's why I gladly accepted the invitation to join the practice, because these are not only great attorneys, they're great guys and great gals.
Yes.
And when, you know, you treat each other with respect within the company, just imagine how we're treating the clients that we essentially, you know, have to service. You know, being an attorney, yes, we're professionals, but at the same time, it is a service-based industry in that we have to cater and pander to the people that are depending on us to get the job done. You know, we have to listen to their problems. We have to, you know, share in their suffering, share in their stress, you know, ease their anxiety. And if that's something that's important to you, if God forbid you have some kind of legal situation, then you're going to be listening to Conrad, or you're going to be listening to Nelson, or you're going to be listening to me, you're going to be listening to Squeeze, and every broadcaster pretty much on this radio station that's had us on, knowing that we do truly amazing work. But it all starts again, like I said, with the phone number. We're not hanging out in the emergency rooms. We're not coming up to you scene of the accident. We're not hanging out at 26 Federal Plaza saying, hey, do you need an attorney to join you? We have a certain class that we are a class of attorney that we hold ourselves to, a certain standard. And we don't solicit clients. You know, we advertise, obviously, but we don't solicit clients. And if you want an attorney that's going to fight for you, like I said, like family, literally, like you are our own brother, sister, mother, cousin, father, 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. Give us a call right now. Put us to the test. You don't think that we're giving free consultations out? I double dare you with a double dog dare you to give us a call and see if we are the real deal. Call us. Ask us an immigration question. Ask us a personal injury question. Ask us a real estate question. Ask us a matrimonial question. 844-PPID-LAW.
Now, before we jump right into it, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is called Cruising with the Case Handler. It's one of my better decisions throughout, you know, coming on the station since 1996. Yeah, it is truly one of my better decisions. So I am saying to you out there, pick up your phone, dial the number. You may not need them now, but let it ring. So this way you have the number of a true full service law firm in your phone. God forbid anything happens to you and you need legal help, you only need one firm, PPID. And I'm saying that straight up to everyone who listens to the station. I don't care what other attorneys you hear on the station. I don't care who you hear off the station. This is David Squeeze Annakie, and I've been on the station since 1996. And I can honestly, hands down, say this, and Adam can attest to this, okay? There's no one that has done a longer law program on this radio station than me. No one.
You are the
Absolutely.
godfather of the concept about putting immigration on the radio. There's no question about it.
No one, not just immigration. When I put you on 15 years ago, you were doing personal injury. So it's not just immigration. You're there right now with $120 million settlements under your belt.
That's right.
Why, you tell me, Adam, why would anyone in their, I won't say right mind, I'm going to be nice. Why would anyone right now listening to this station want to go anywhere else if they get into an accident? You tell me, why?
Because they're really not looking at the big picture, or maybe they're taking the $500 that the lawyer's offering them to become their client, or maybe they're just listening to a popular DJ with a paid advertisement and not really looking for the depth, not really looking for what it is behind the attorneys that they're advertising. I mean,
I'm looking for a shark.
Yeah, they're not. Listen, there are. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. There are a lot of great attorneys out there. Yeah. There are probably more terrible attorneys than great attorneys, but there are a lot of good ones out there. But not every attorney is going to treat you the way that we treat you. That is the difference maker. We can only, we can only top everyone else by providing the best possible service and going for the best possible outcome. But again, it's all about having that number saved. I'm actually curious to hear what's been going on in the immigration department lately, because the calls have been flooding in. Nelson, tell us what are these calls that you're taking? I'm so curious.
From you, Nelson, and Conrad, quickly, Adam.
Yeah.
What do you think about the show since we have started it? The immigration segment of the show. I mean, Adam's been on the station nonstop, but what do you, as partners of, in my opinion, right now, this time things change, the best law firm when it comes to the capacity of personal injury and immigration? What do you think about the show? What do you think about what we all got this started and we spoke on this? What do you think about all the clients that's been reaching out to you that you've been treating like family? What do you truly think, both of you?
Go ahead, Nelson.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking Adam. So I think we've gotten great feedback. I think we've gotten obviously a lot of calls. To be honest with you, it actually feels good to be able to help a lot of these people and give them the correct information. I could give you a quick example off the top of my head. I had a gentleman call recently to tell me that his naturalization application has been pending for 17 months. And his lawyer told him that there's nothing he can do at the moment. But wait, that's actually wrong. It's incorrect. At this point, the gentleman has two options: either to file for what's called judicial naturalization, which is basically asking the district court to take over his pending naturalization application, or to file a mandamus, which is a federal lawsuit compelling immigration to adjudicate his case. So the gentleman sensed that there was something more that the lawyer could do, reached out to us, and he was very happy. He actually told me that he's been listening ever since the show started 4 weeks ago. He's been following it. We're doing a great thing, and it felt good. It felt really good to be able to give someone good legal sound advice. So
that's what I'm talking about. Conrad, what do you feel with the hundreds of calls that's coming since then? How do you feel helping out the Caribbean community, which did not have consistent, let me use the right word, consistent immigration help? They had consistent personal injury. Everyone is calling the case handler for personal injury. But how do you feel being a part of a show that has been on every single day, on this radio station since we started, and the feedback that you've been getting? How do you personally feel as the managing partner, the practicing attorney, one of the practicing attorneys in the immigration capacity at PPID?
Well, first off, I give you and Adam credit for, you've been cajoling us, Nelson and me, for the last couple of years about doing this. And, between our busy days and just in the usual routines and doing what you're doing, inertia pushes you in a certain direction. And inertia during those times didn't really allow us to take this opportunity to go on the radio every morning. Now with the pandemic, and I think I've said this before, I have viewed this entire situation since March, 2.5 months now, as a situation, you make the best of a bad opportunity. You turn lemons into lemonade, is a favorite expression of mine. And, we've had the time, everybody's home. Normally this time of the day, I'd be just getting out of the subway, walking to my office, or actually I'd already be there. Nelson would just be rolling out of bed, but now we're home and we have this opportunity, and we seize this opportunity with your and Adam's urging to start the radio, to get on the radio show, talk about immigration, and as I said before, a perfect opportunity to give back to the immigrant community that has meant so much to me and my family personally, as I just explained previously. I grew up and I've lived and breathed and bled immigration since I was a kid. Honestly, since I was a little kid. I have two older brothers that had no interest in becoming lawyers. I always imagined myself being a lawyer. I always thought that I'm going to take over my dad's practice someday, and I'm going to do immigration law, and I'm going to learn how to speak Spanish. Y también hablo español, because my father had many Spanish-speaking clients, had many Haitian clients, had clients from everywhere. He spoke a lot of languages, so he was able to attract a lot of people. But it's been an opportunity for us to give back, and it's also, speaking from a personal perspective, it's good for lawyers, especially old timers like me and Nelson, to be talking about immigration law on a daily basis, because it sharpens the skills. Things I talk about and the questions we get, and I'm able to answer off the top of my head because it's automatic. But I might not have had that situation arise in the past year, so maybe I was a little rusty. But something, I mean, the constant barrage of questions between the show and the telephone calls and so on, has really sharpened my acuity in terms of responding to people and knowing what I know. It's refreshing for me to know at my advanced age that I am able to recall these things at a moment's notice still, and respond to these people as quickly as possible. And I want to throw one more thing in there, which is amusing. I was talking to a client yesterday, and he's telling me a situation, and he applied for adjustment of status with his wife, went to the interview by himself, and he got denied. And I said, well, tell me what happened. Well, tell me about the interview. He says, first thing, well, the examiner was a real a-hole. And I said, what do you mean? Well, he was asking me intrusive questions. He asked me what color, the sheets are in my bedroom, on my bed, in my bedroom. He said, how often do my wife and I have sex? And I said, hey, don't ask me questions like that. What's the matter with you? But long story short, he got into an argument with the examiner. He gets into an argument with the examiner, and surprise, surprise, he ends up getting denied. He doesn't know why he got denied. But what's the point here that I'm making? Don't fight with the examiners. You go to immigration, all right, and you're sitting at an adjustment interview, or you're sitting at a consular interview. You're talking to the man. This is a man or a woman who has your future in their hands. So you want to be polite. You want to answer their questions, yes, sir, no, ma'am. And that's about it. Maybe you elaborate if asked to elaborate, but you want to be on your best behavior. You want to dress nicely. You want to speak softly, and you want to be extremely, extremely respectful. You don't want to start an argument with the examiner saying, hey, that's none of your business, pal.
That's like when you're taking your driving test and they ask you to parallel park and you tell them to go F themselves. I mean, the whole point of that process is to make sure that your adjustment, I'm assuming that it was marriage based, that is a bona fide marriage. You guys are living together, that you're sharing the same bed. I'm not really sure I would know the color of my sheets, but still.
Well, okay, but another point here that I'm making is questions like that were personal.
Yeah.
Granted, the person didn't handle the questions properly. However, if you had a lawyer there, if Nelson was there, all right, those questions, I promise you, would not have been asked. All right, but they wouldn't ask you how often you and your wife have sex. That I can promise.
And if they were asked, you also maybe the client would feel a little bit more at ease, and maybe the tension in the room in general would be lower. And that's really why you always need an attorney. I mean, anybody that goes it out alone, I don't care. You're a fool, and I'm sorry if that's offending somebody, but you are a fool. When you have a legal problem, you need somebody that specializes in law, and that is an attorney. So
you
try to handle it yourself. You can't. With that said, here's
nothing else. Just sometimes people just reassured or it's a calming influence. Just to have a lawyer sitting at your side, holding you and saying, "Hey, make it easy. I'll answer this question. Yes, this question is absurd and it shouldn't be asked. I'll handle it. You keep your mouth shut, say nothing, sit there and smile. I'll deal with it." That's what a good lawyer, a competent, experienced attorney will do for you. All right. And sometimes people lose sight of that, unfortunately.
Okay. The number, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to allow everyone that's listening to 93.5 FM, and that will be switching over to Facebook to get more immigration help. Okay. I'm going to give you a number. Everyone out there, dial the number. I implore you to get your immigration questions answered for free over the phone. It's a phone consultation. It's off air. It's private. It's confidential. Call this number now. We are live. It's a Wednesday. I don't want people to think it's a tape. Okay. During the week, we have never done a tape.
No tapes.
Which is unbelievable. All right. I want to see what's going to happen when I go on vacation, Adam. You got this, right?
You're cruising with the case handler, baby.
All right. No problem. All right. Now I'm never going on vacation. Or am I? The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Once again, the number for personal injury, the number for immigration. You don't need any other attorney. You just need PPID. Call them now. Dial the number. Make us proud. Make me proud. I want to hear Adam said yes, please. They called and they locked the number in. The number is 844-774-3529. Why am I so passionate about having attorneys around me? Do you think I was born okay, where there's never going to be an issue? I grew up in the Bronx, okay? I grew up in the Bronx. And believe me, if you're a black man growing up on the Bronx, you ultimately, sooner or later, will need attorneys in some capacity. Even if it's just driving on the block while being black, you're going to need an attorney, all right? So what I'm simply saying, this is a full-service law firm. Things happen, all right? 844-774-3529. Yes, I am an immigrant also. Call the number, 844-774-3529. Every single immigrant that's listening to this powerful show called Cruising with the Case Handler need to have this number in their phone, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make the call now, ladies and gentlemen, and store the number. And I want to test the immigration attorneys, and then we jump it over to Adam to give a true success story. Let's put Maverick to the test. Let's put Conrad Pollack to the test. All right. I'm going to ask a question right now. I've never asked this question on the show since they've been on. Okay. But this is one that pops up. All right. It says, my boyfriend lives in the Caribbean. He wants to move here to the USA with me. I know for that to happen, we have to get married. How hard is it to get a visa for same-sex couples?
Go ahead, Nelson. That's one of your favorite topics.
It's not very difficult. However, you obviously need to prove that it is a real relationship. Unfortunately, as Conrad said before, many times when you deal with immigration, it's somewhat of a roll of the dice. There's officers who are sympathetic, there's officers who are understanding, and there's others who inject their personal opinions and beliefs into many cases. I've represented many same-sex couples in the past. I've had positive experiences. However, I've heard, basically they started their case. 1 second, I'm sorry.
It's okay, Nelson. We're all broadcasting from home.
I'm sorry. So as I was saying, it's as long as you can demonstrate that it's a real marriage, it should be no problem. But unfortunately, again, some officers allow their personal opinions and beliefs to cloud their judgment, and that is where you can have a problem.
All right.
Also, let me just chime in. Whether same-sex or not, when you're applying for a visa, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the law presumes everybody's an intending immigrant. So you might be wanting to come over just to visit or whatever, but you've got to convince the U.S. consular officer that where you're applying for that visa, that you're just coming here temporarily as a visitor. You're not going to go in there and say, hey, you know what, my fiance, man or woman, I'm going there to marry him. Because if you do that, they're going to, nice big red stamp, denied. You have to prove you're coming temporarily. If it's your intention to apply for somebody to get a green card, you have to get married. And in this case, you'd go down to Jamaica or wherever you are and marry, come back here, file a visa petition, and do the immigration process, which will take about a year and a half for them to get a green card. But you can't just go in, apply for visas saying, I need a visa because I want to go and marry my boyfriend or marry my girlfriend. It doesn't work that way. You're an intending immigrant intending to come here on a permanent basis until you prove otherwise to the consular officer. So that's something to always remember.
844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. The point there is that there are no biases when it comes to the PPID firm. Race, creed, color, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation. Reach out to them, 844-774-3529, to each his own, 844-774-3529.
Squeeze, and if I can just jump in before the top of the hour on this issue. A lot of times people ask me, well, how does my immigration status affect my personal injury case? And maybe shame on me for not mentioning this multiple times during every show. But again, it does not matter, right? I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you're doing here, whether you're from Mexico or the moon. If you're a human being, right? I guess if you're from the moon, you're not a human being. But if you're a human being and you're injured here, you are 100% entitled to compensation. Compensation for your medical bills, compensation for your lost time out of work. Our firm, years ago in our appellate division, in our appellate practice, actually worked on a case that changed New York law that provides undocumented workers the ability to seek lost compensation from work. Can you imagine? Brian Isaac. And you know what? I think we should maybe have Brian on one day to talk about that case because he worked on it. Valblenda. It's a landmark case that our firm handled that provided immigrants the ability to collect lost wages and lost time from work, even if they're undocumented. We got to bring them on because there is nobody better in this. I'm sorry, I'm calling it. Nobody better in this state, if not this country, at talking about the actual legalese of cases than our partner, Brian Isaac. And it all starts with having that phone number. And we have the immigration department. A lot of people say, hey, handler, why is it that, you always find your way, working, doing personal injury within the confines of an immigration practice? And the reason why is because I need to make sure that my clients and their family have the ability to be connected to great immigration lawyers, because a lot of times we do have issues that come up, whether it's extending visas, whether it's adjustments, whether it's getting citizenship, whether it's getting them social security numbers so they can cash those multi-million-dollar checks or tax ID numbers. That's what we do. Again, 844-PPID-LAW, 844-774-3529. Just wanted to get that in before the top of the hour because it's such an important message. And my heart breaks when I hear about people getting into serious accidents or having serious issues, even involving medical malpractice, and they never did anything about it because they weren't, their status wasn't legit at the time. And then it's 5 or 6 years later, and the statute of limitations is run. And I can tell you horror stories. People just totally being taken advantage of, scared because they were living in the shadows. And you don't have to be.
Adam, also, that reminds me, we also have so many situations where the person is here, Adam has a client who's in an accident while they're here, they're in Disneyland and they got hit by a bus, all right? They need to stay here to handle the case. Frequently, we've had situations where we've been able to get extensions of those people's visas in order for them to stay here to process their cases, or, at the very least, provide them with advice on if they have to go back.
I bet you we can get them on this show. They're in Jamaica. We should do that. Let's give the number out before the top of the hour. We'll flip over to Facebook. If you're watching right now, like us, comment, share the page, tip your waiter, hook us up. We're giving the information out for free. 100% free consultations with respect to immigration and personal injury. 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. We literally would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you guys, man. I've made you guys into broadcasters. I'm here sitting looking at you all. I'm like, they're officially broadcasters. 30 seconds before the top of the hour, switch to Facebook, David Squeeze Annakie, or the Case Handler, or Pollack, Isaac, and the Sequel, aka PPID. Once again, what should happen here in the capacity of personal injury, immigration, or any legal help that you may need? Reach out to one firm. That number, dial it now, let it ring, store the number. Okay, 844-774-3529. Get a free phone consultation now off the air. 844-774-3529. 844-PPID-LAW.
It's 9 o'clock.
All right. So on point we are. Great team here. Proud of you guys here, you know. All right. Very, very, very proud of you. Once again, folks, this show is about personal injury and immigration primarily. Of course, the law firm is a full service law firm. So if you ever need legal help, just make that one phone call. I am sure any one of these great attorneys and partners of the firm will help you, all right, or point you in the right direction. So once again, the name of the firm is Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico, aka PPID. Of course, the name of the show is Cruising with the Case Handler, Adam Handler, and he is dubbed the Case Handler because he's been here on this radio station and also, of course, now on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, extending to it. It's been 15 years, and he has proven himself. And of course, we already have these two attorneys. I heard Conrad use a term, old guys like me, you know, speaking on for Nelson there. But they've got depth when it comes to immigration, and I'm very proud that they are actually here, you know, to help out a lot of people. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Before we jump back into let's get another immigration question in, Adam, while I give you the reins to actually.
Yeah, no problem. And I just got notification from my laptop that unless I plug it in soon, it's gonna go to sleep. I know. So if I disappear, don't worry about me, guys. I'll be just fine today.
So you got the stake out there for the vampires, but no electrical outlet.
Well, listen, tough times, man. Tough times.
Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Let's get to a question that we have right here. Get things going. And this one is a very interesting one. I haven't seen one like this in a while, gentlemen. So let me just start off. Immigration, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. What does it take for an immigrant dentist to be licensed in the USA, although he studied American dentistry in his country? I have heard it's a political procedure that's very costly. Also, is there a grant that may be available since he won't be eligible for federal aid? That's weird.
I couldn't speak to the grant issue. However, dentist, doctor, any type of licensed medical professional needs a license. That means passing the exam. I don't recall the exact exam for a medical student, for a foreign medical student. Did he say he went to school in the United States, or he went to school in his country? I don't remember.
He studied, yeah, he says he studied American dentistry in his country.
In his country. All right. Well, he's going to first have to get equivalency from the dental association in whatever state. Let's assume New York. He's going to have to contact the authority in New York State about that. He's going to have to get equivalency in terms of the education he received. He might have to take additional educational courses in the U.S. in order to qualify, and he's certainly going to have to take a licensing exam. Dentists obviously have to be licensed in every state. So if he's going to practice in New York, he's going to have to get a license in New York as well. In terms of the grant or funding, that I couldn't speak to. I would suggest that that person contact the New York. I forget the letters for the association for the association in New York, but he should Google dentists in New York, and they will provide him with whatever requirements are necessary for him to get licensed. But he's going to have to probably take some additional educational courses, get licensed, and go from there.
Absolutely. And once again, ladies and gentlemen,
by the way, excuse me, then he would apply for an H-1, by the way. If he gets licensed, does everything he has to do, he will then have to find an employer, a dentist, who is going to offer him temporary employment in an H-1B visa capacity. And those are limited. There's a quota. That's a whole nother story.
Absolutely. All right. So the number, once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we're focusing on immigration, we're going to be switching to personal injury momentarily. The number is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. We are cruising with the case handler. Here's another quick one. I am looking to move permanently to the U.S. Mom of 5. I own a global business with over 270 contractors working for me. We have had global press, including Forbes. I want to be in the States to develop the business more there and also offer accredited courses to underprivileged females. Where do I even begin?
Interesting. First off, we're talking about most likely an L1 visa. That's for an intercompany transferee. In this case, it would be an L1A, which is for managers and executives. Basically, I could go on for an hour here about this topic because it is complicated. But he would apply for an L1A visa. How he would do that, he would have to create a organization in the United States, incorporate. That company would then either be a parent or subsidiary or affiliate of the foreign company, so that they're connected, they're branch offices or whatever, affiliated in some way corporately. And then he would transfer from the foreign company to the US company with an L1A visa as an executive or as a manager of that company. Then once he gets the L1A, he gets an L1A typically for 3 years. Again, he's got to prove that that new company in the United States exists, that it needs to hire people, and that it's sufficiently capitalized. It's not easy to do, but we do it all the time. In fact, some of the associates that we've had on for the past couple of weeks, that's their area of expertise. But he would apply for the L1, come here. He could stay here for 3 years on the L1 and extend it for a total. L1A, he could get a visa for a total of 7 years. Also, he would then be able to apply for his green card, and if he qualified in that regard as an international transferee from a foreign company, he could apply for his green card without applying to the Labor Department. It's a faster process. I was going to say easier. It's not. It's difficult, but it's doable. So if he has a situation like he's describing, call us. I could give you a lot more information over the phone and we could go into it, but it sounds good. And then once he's here as well, he could do the other charitable ideas. He could pursue those as well on the side.
Conrad, what about an investor visa?
Depends on where he's from. Investor visas are E2 visas, but the number one requirement, first off, depends if there's a treaty between the United States and the country from which he's from. I don't know where he's from, so I can't speak to that, but that is also a possibility. But in this case, it sounds like it's tailor-made for an L1. But E2 is a possibility as well if there's a treaty with his country.
Gotcha. Once again, folks, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. You heard from Nelson Madrid. You heard from Conrad Pollack, practicing immigration attorneys at the firm. Okay. And Conrad Pollack, managing partner, 36, let me correct myself, years of experience. And of course, Nelson Madrid, 13 years plus and growing. Adam Handler, 17 years of experience in the personal injury capacity. And I am sure that he has a true success story. We call them war stories here, where we just kick back, relax, and listen to a case that he has handled for someone who truly needed a shark to go at someone for them. Sure. And that he has done.
Yeah,
yes.
Happy to talk about it. Just a couple of things before we get started on that. You guys were talking about professionals moving to this country, and I'll never forget a couple of years ago I was in an Uber, and I can't remember if he was from Nigeria or Senegal, who, based on my experience, have such a wonderful education system. Some brilliant people come out of those countries, and this guy was just really interesting to talk to. And I said, what's your background? What did you do back home? He was a physicist, and he couldn't get work here in the United States, in physics. But this is this guy that was driving my Uber, I'm pretty sure was a genius. And it just shows you come to this country, you want to make something for yourself, you want to work hard, you want to support your family, and you do whatever it takes. I mean, obviously he was having difficulty finding jobs. I think he was a teacher as well. But driving cab, and it just shows people come here and they really want to make a difference. And there's just some amazing people, from all over the world that just flock to this country just because of the great opportunities. But with that said, I do want to talk about a war story, most specifically because today's Wednesday. And what day is before Wednesday, Nelson? Pop quiz. What day comes before Wednesday?
Testimonial Tuesday.
There you go, baby. Testimonial Tuesday. And we posted Testimonial Tuesday last night. We were a little slow on it, so sorry everybody that we didn't get it until later on in the evening, but you got to wake up to it on Wednesday. So Testimonial Tuesday, this week we featured a case, a confidential settlement. The gentleman didn't want us to talk about how much money it was, but it was a very difficult case, and I'll tell you why. This is
Adam. Adam.
Oh, remember he said that it was going to go to sleep mode.
Yeah, it seemed like it froze, or his internet decided to say kaput. Kaput. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we await the Adam Handler to come back, our personal injury attorney. All right, I was just about to read Roy's testimony from Brooklyn, where it says the case handler team is an excellent one. I have no regrets and I would not change a thing. Let me save you a lot of time and stress if you ever get into an accident. Call Adam Handler. So, ladies and gentlemen, reach out to the firm. Reach out to the case handler. If you get hurt in an accident, that's the person you need. He has already proven himself. $120 million in settlement cannot be wrong under this man's belt. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, call 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. There he goes. He went. 844, yeah, 774-3529. But we got this. Once again, everyone that's watching right now, just store the number. You may not need it now because it's not like you're going to just get up and go out and have an accident, or an accident just going to, So make sure you call and store the number. In my opinion, a phenomenal law firm. And what we're doing here is truly a blessing for all of us. So once again, make that call. 844-774-3529. And there he goes on his phone. Okay.
Oh, man. I warned you guys. I said that thing was going to die on me. Wow.
I was just going to say, we finally, the rest of us finally get a word in.
I was just going to say, you guys probably covered more in that 30 seconds than you covered in 3 weeks. That is so funny. Well, listen, I'm just going to.
We finally have a chance to say something.
Yeah, I read Roy's quote.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I read Roy's quote for you, though.
Oh, you did. All right. Well, that was. Listen, it was a tough case, and I'll tell you why. He got in an accident. And he refused medical attention. On the police report, it says RMA, refused medical attention. He wasn't really feeling pain. He actually described it as his adrenaline was running. He was so pissed that he was stopped at a light and somebody ran into the back of his car that he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to go home. And then he woke up in the morning with a terribly stiff neck, went to the hospital, got checked out. The x-rays were negative, but they definitely said that he could have either some strained ligaments or possibly even a herniated disc in his neck. And they were absolutely right. He wound up going to a rehabilitation center. They did an MRI. He did have a herniated disc. He did physical therapy for about 6 months. And then we got him a settlement. And we were ready to settle. And I remember the insurance company, in this case, Geico, they had a lot of problems with the case. They had a lot of problems justifying paying. Number one, they didn't think that the damage to our client's vehicle was that significant, and it really wasn't. He had a nice car, and he was like, I think it was a BMW, and they actually take a pretty good beating. It wasn't serious damage. The vehicle that struck hood was crushed in. That was a Honda. And they also said, well, he didn't go to the emergency room right away, and he only did treatment for 6 months. And, just because you're in an accident, and just because the other person's at fault does not mean you get money in New York. You still have to, unless you've got a fracture, you actually have to be able to prove through objective medical evidence, doctor records, and even doctor testimony, if the case goes to trial, that you have some sort of permanent residual injury. And he was doing much better. At the end of the 6 months, he was almost full range of motion, telling the doctors he was feeling good. So under the law, he could potentially be entitled to nothing. But we were able to get him, let's call it a 5-figure settlement, which certainly was fair compensation for what he went through. Not a multi-million-dollar settlement. We talk about these sexy cases, the $5 million, the $6 million, the $5.2 million, the $4 million, the $2 million, the $1 million, those cases that we handle also. But there's also the cases that settle, between $5,000 and $50,000, that even though it's not big money, it's still important to these people because they're entitled to it. Under the law, they're never going to get money if they're not entitled to it. People say, oh, you represent X, Y, and Z, getting the money for all kinds of cases. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be perfectly clear about this. Unless you are entitled to money under the law, or unless you create at least the prospect to the insurance company that your client will be entitled to money under the law, you're not getting a settlement.
And that's why we can't take every case. We have to be able to prove an accident happened and that you actually have an injury from that accident. And this was a case that maybe other lawyers would have turned down, but it's a case that we took because we felt it was important to the client. And if it was important to the client, it was important to us. And just another success story, just another, true life situation in which somebody came to us with a legal problem and we treated it like it was our most important case. And he got the money he deserved, tax-free, moved on with his life. And now here we are talking about it. So 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID-LAW, the way you can be connected to the case handler.
There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cruising with the case handler. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. We're about to conclude the show, but I want everyone to actually share what it is that you're watching on your own timelines, in groups, on pages you manage. We're here for the long haul. Okay, it's a term that Conrad and Nelson used at the beginning of the year when we got into this a month or so ago. We're here for the long haul. This show has been growing in leaps and bounds. What I personally would like to see is more of you actually retaining the attorneys and not trying or attempting to file your immigration case yourself in the capacity of personal injury. There's absolutely, hands down, nowhere else that you should be going. You should definitely go with the firm, of course. Go with the case handler. All right, that's Adam Handler himself, aka the Shark, because he's going to fight tooth and nail, okay, for you when it comes to, of course, getting you the highest possible settlement. Yeah, it does not replace your injury or the pain that you've gone through, but I'm quite sure it will actually help you to get through life. And remember, it's tax-free. Also, regardless if you're an immigrant or not, you can and will get help by way of the case handler. With that said, respectively, immigration and personal injury, I think it has been a great show again. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 8:30. Bring some friends, spread the word, let a few folks know about the show. And with these great attorneys and yours truly, the serial entrepreneur, this is a part of what I do and I love doing it. It's the best part of my day. I want to say attorneys for being there, not just for me, but for the entire community that's out there. Caribbean, non-Caribbeans, Latinos, okay, everybody, all right? We are very happy that PPID is here to stay. Thank you so much. And with that said, priors also do not guarantee similar outcome, and this has been an attorney advertisement brought to you by PPID. However, right now, 844-774-3529 is the number, 844-PPID-LAW. Of course, the managing partner and practicing attorney will take us out with something on the keyboards.
Oh, gee, thanks.
The maestro.
The maestro. Tomorrow I want him to play. Tomorrow I want him to play the theme song of Cheers. Okay. Where everybody knows your name.
Don't know that one.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been real. We conclude.